Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. Wednesday night, April the 27th. This is the charts of the day video, and some new ones and some old ones again. But the market just won't quit, and had every reason to and opportunity to today with Bernanke's speech, but wouldn't give way. A lot of stocks are still moving. As a matter of fact, quite a few are emerging and breaking out. Almaden Minerals, AAU, which was a swing trade of ours and a successful one in November, December, then went into a pullback consolidation, but twice held this three and a quarter, 335 zone. Moved back up to test the double top from December and January, and then backed off in a flag pattern. Popped out, pulled back, and now here it is, spiking up 41 cents or 8.7% on nearly 2 million shares. That's the best volume in 2.5 weeks, second biggest this year. And it appears that if we can pop through the 522.25 area as quickly as tomorrow, we could get a follow through that gets this running again. And with clear sailing on this one, I wouldn't be surprised to see that stock move up towards the 7 range short term, intermediate target about 8.5, 3/4. AEZS continues to move after breaking out the other day, and you can see how yesterday it popped 20 cents or 9%, today another 15 cents or 6.5%. Volume increased to 8.5 million. And the angle of ascent right now appears that this is going to head towards the 285, 290 zone thereabouts on AES. AVL, wanted to show you this because this rare earth stock has been coiling quietly and getting quieter and quieter in here. And with the current channel bottom and moving averages here, this needs to be watched. Lateral price support here at around the 8.5 area. Needs to hold and needs to get a price volume surge over the 9 3/4, 985 area to really get it going. But if you can see, the angle of ascent here shows that we're looking at a stock at around 12.5 short term, and somewhere around potentially 16 or 17 on an intermediate basis. So we'll see what occurs. CLNE today made a move and jumped 69 cents on more than 2 million shares. Now that's the biggest volume in about 2 weeks, week and a half, and what it did is pop out of the wedge and across lateral price resistance. I'm looking for a move and test at the 17 3/4 range short term. If that's taken out, quick target around 18 3/4 and then 19 3/4, 20. Up next is Gene. A big day today for GENE on positive drug news. Gapped up to 492, ran to 695. At one point up about $3.60, about 120% or so. But it did sell off in the afternoon on a profit taking, although 2.87 million traded. That's the heaviest volume I've ever seen in that stock, all the way back multi-years. Indicating to me there's still a possibility that despite the breakout and pullback, I want to follow this carefully tomorrow because we may just see it edge back up towards the 6 1/4 half range. And should it take out the $7 area, next target is 10. We'll see what we get with that one. I wanted to revisit Immunogen because of the way this has been acting in a beautiful pop and rising flag here. Looks like we're headed towards 14, maybe 15 if it spikes up short term. That was my target a week and a half ago when I gave it to you about 11.5. IPCI, I wanted to point this out. This is an old favorite of ours. We traded it in January. It then slipped back in a 3-month declining channel. Yesterday spiked up 60 cents or 19% on 442,000. That was the biggest volume this year. Today, topped that with 543,000, up another 49 cents or 13%. And today's action took it out across the declining tops line and 50-period moving average, 50-day moving average. So at this point, and it did back off just slightly from this minor lateral price resistance up in this zone. If we can get through the 440.50 zone tomorrow, I would look for a quick move to 5 and then perhaps run up towards the 585, 595 area. That's my short-term target. If we get through that, much higher levels may be reached. We'll see. KEYN, swing trade of idea of ours, popped out of the 2-week coiling wedging type pattern with a pickup in volume today up. Now 900,000 shares, up 5%. But it did back off. That was in response to its strong earnings report, and it did close about $1.39 off its high. So a bit disappointing close, but let's see if it gets any follow through tomorrow. In any case, still looking for a move up towards my $25 swing trade target, perhaps. KUTV still mojoing and motoring up another 51 cents or almost 8%. 3.4 million shares traded today. Second heaviest volume in the last week or two, and third heaviest volume this year. in the last year or so. So bottom line is, if we can continue forward here, I'd be looking for a retest of the December highs up over the 8 area around 835 or so. That's my short-term target. LOCM made a move today, perhaps. 2.6 million shares up 35 cents or 7.6%. And though it didn't close right at the high, it closed at the upper end of the range and a cross-key lateral resistance here. So I'm looking now for this stock to extend as volume picks up and get up towards the $6 range. Short-term target, secondary target at 7.25.5. Neopost, swing trade of ours, spoke to its head above resistance yesterday and today popped through 22 cents or 4.6% on 1.3 million as volume is the heaviest in 5 sessions. On-bounce volume is moving, so is money stream and balance of power. It looks like this stock is headed to 6.575. QCOR, QCOR, an old favorite of ours, which popped big time in early April and then went into this flag pattern, popped out big time today up $1.79 or 9.33% on 3.2 million. That's the heaviest volume in 3 weeks. And at this point, new all-time highs, maybe headed into the mid-20s. Let's put a $24.5, $25 target on it. Reniff, a monster ever since we spotted the breakout from this declining or falling wedge here in end of March. So in the last 4 weeks, it's gone from 5.5 to 1687, folks. More than about tripling, more than tripling. Yeah, around tripling. Anyway, the bottom line is a bit oversold short term, and today pierced the top of its channel. If you look at a total parallel channel, that's about right here. Overbought short term, maybe in due of a pullback, but with momentum the way it is, we might even see 20 before it's over. At least something up in the 19-20 range. For a very ultra short term target, but be careful with this one. Saba software broke out today from this platform technical resistance level around the $10 area and popped up to 10.5, closing at the high for the day, up to 7% on 467,000 shares. That's the heaviest volume in 3.5 weeks or so. And it could mean that we're going to see more higher levels as this spikes up to the 11.75, 12 zone, maybe even 13 short-term target for Saba. Sify went along for the ride today, or should I say Reniff went along for Sify's ride anyway. Both of them mojoing as they normally do together. As you can see in the last 4 weeks, it's gone from 3.25 to 7.75, more than doubling, with beautiful rising channel and volume, and still no top in sight. My target was 9, even though you didn't believe me. We may be headed there as soon as tomorrow or the day after. But very volatile. Keep your eye on this one closely. SPPI. Significant price volume surge occurred. I want to show you something here, folks. Long-term resistance going back 8 years at this $10 range. Here, 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 and here. We get through this range, could be clear sailing up to a minimum of the 15, 18 zone. Well, let's call it 15 intermediate target, 18 longer term, short term 12.5. How's that for a target? But it's got to get through 10, and it's got to do it tomorrow. Otherwise, we could back off here. UNIS had a significant move as they made an announcement today. Fundamentally, this is a great little story, but technically today popped 10% or 51 cents on pickup in volume. 288,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the biggest volume in about 5 weeks as the stock popped out of its declining channel, back above its 50 and 20-day moving average, through lateral price resistance. And now I'm looking for a quick test of 6. Through that, some minor resistance at 630, but my major target at this point is going to be around $7 short term. Be on the look for it. And lastly, today's VELT, a swing trade of ours, which continued today with another 86-cent move of 5%. And you can see this little head and shoulder pattern broke out, and now we're moving our way higher. My original target was 18.5, 19. I believe we may see closer to 19, 19.5, maybe 20 on VELT. And that's your charts of the day for tonight. Have a good evening.